Hey boys and girls, Chef Semphis here, and I'm going to show you how to make the quick and easiest pudding you've ever made in your entire life. I've eaten this on my cheat meals. It's actually one of my favorite meals, and it's so simple and it's so lame. But trust me, if you try this with the right protein powder, you're really going to like it. And this will be my last protein powder video for a little bit. So first off, you're going to want a flavor you like. I got vanilla ice cream by Beyond. This is pretty flavorful, in my opinion. Secondly, you want your fat source. So you got your protein with your protein powder. You got your peanut butter, almond butter, any type of fat that you think you could add to here will work. I'm going to use peanut butter because I feel like it goes pretty well. And then your fruit source, I'm going to do banana, but you could do strawberries, blueberries, whatever fruit you like. It doesn't have to be specific. I usually try to make it so that whatever protein flavor I'm using, the fruit is going to kind of like complement it. I don't want to use something that just like is weird. So I'm actually cooking the cream of rice as we speak. So in the pot, you'll see it's just this kind of like goopy consistency. So I have an optional thing you can do is to make it a little bit thinner. You can actually use a little bit of almond milk if you'd like, or water. I like to add a little bit of almond milk, and that kind of gives it a little bit more flavor, personally. But if you're trying to cut calories even more, obviously you can just use water. So I like to cook mine in a pot, but you can do it in the microwave. I'm just going to warn you, if you do it in the microwave, you want to use a high glass bowl and make sure that you're taking it out every 30 to 45 seconds and stirring it.
Microwave safe.
Microwave safe, yeah. Stir it very well and then put it back in for another 30, 45 until it's done. So, now, obviously, I haven't shown you the ingredient that matters the most. We're going to do rice flour, cream of rice. You can use oatmeal. I don't personally like it as much. The consistency isn't as pudding-like. I like rice flour. You can usually find these at supermarkets, but bulk stores will have them too. If you live in the U.S., you can use rice and grinds, which has a lot of different flavors like chocolate fudge, etc. If you live in the UK or Europe, you can use Trained by JP. They got a custard flavor that's really good. If you live in Canada, we don't got anything. We don't got anything. Just plain rice, white rice. Although HD Muscle is supposedly coming out with their own line soon, so hopefully we get some solid flavors. So all you need is 4 ingredients. Technically, you don't even need the fruit, but these are the main ones that you need. So you're going to cook your cream of rice. So I got this nice and cooked up, ready to go. And I'm telling you, you can literally whip this up in less than 5 minutes if you know what you're doing. So right here, I have 65 carbs. I have 65 carbs of cream of rice. So I'll just cook that up. I just transfer that into a glass bowl. It doesn't have to be glass, obviously. So, I just kind of go in there. Obviously, you could have microwaved this. Bam. Got that in there. So obviously I measure everything. If you guys are going to free ball, that's on you guys. I recommend you do not do that. Once it's in the bowl, I like to mix it up a little bit so it gets a little bit fluffier. Otherwise it can stay a little bit more dense. I'm doing 70 grams of protein. I don't recommend you guys copy me. My protein is extremely high. I've said this in other videos. I just know that some people just copy things. 40 to 50 should be good. For me, this is 82 grams of protein powder from this brand, so I'm going to mix that in there. So 81, close enough. We're bulking. It doesn't matter if I'm off by a gram or two. If it was prep, I'd make sure that number lines up, trust me. But basically, you're just going to go mix that in there. Nothing crazy. This is one of the simplest things. So my cream of rice is actually strawberry shortcake flavored, so you can see it's kind of pink. But that with the vanilla complement each other very well. So you mix that up, and as you see, it can turn into it's kind of got like a little bit of like a pudding texture, right? Now, normally you could be like, oh, I don't really like it. It doesn't really taste that good. I've tried this before, Semphis. Well, trust me, okay, this is where the moneymaker comes. So what you're gonna do is you can mix in the fat, like the almond butter or the peanut butter into it. I like to drizzle it on top, personally, to kind of go over there, kind of like a little drizzle. I feel like you taste it more personally. So I'm gonna do 30 grams, which is 14 grams of fat, because that's how much fat I get per meal. So yeah, so we got 30 grams here, 29, like I said, close enough. So right there, we have that. That's kind of like the final product. Now, what I would say is I just kind of take this, I put the lid on, and if I'm short on time, I throw it in the freezer. And if I got more time, like I'm gonna eat it in 3 hours, I just stick it in the fridge. So you put that in the fridge, you forget about it until you need it. You can eat the next day, you can eat in 2 hours, you can eat it in right now if you want. But the main point is you let it get cold. When protein powder gets cold, all the artificial sweeteners taste way better. And why I say to not put this on is just when you put fruit in there, it just kind of like gets a little weird. Like if you're gonna travel with it, I get it, you gotta do what you gotta do. But if you're eating at home, I would recommend just like leaving whatever fruit in the freezer like on the side and just adding it like after you pull it out. And that's one of the simplest meals you can eat, that you can eat. It's white rice, protein powder, and peanut butter. Like you got your fats, you got your carbs, you got your protein. It's fairly healthy, you know, other than I guess like people could argue against the protein powder. But the nice thing is it's simple, no excuses. You could just leave it in the fridge. If you got a match, you got a game, you got work, you got school, you can bring that thing wherever you want. Like you can even put it in the freezer so it's a little bit frozen. So if you go to school, it'll still be cold. There's just a lot of easy ways that you can do it. It's one of my main meals that I bring. Like if I'm going to the movies and I'm trying to stay on my diet, I usually bring that meal just because it's very easy to take and I like it. If you get a good chocolate protein powder, it's almost like you're eating like a chocolate pudding. You know, you can do blueberries on top of there. I'm just saying there's a lot of different ways you can do it. And you can make the calories just higher and higher and higher. So like if you are bulking, you can just add more cream of rice, more fats, more everything, more fruit. If you're dieting, what you can do is just add more water. So when you're cooking it, and you can just keep adding water to make it thicker and thicker and thicker. It will dilute the flavor a little bit, but it will fill your stomach up. So if you're someone that's just trying to not be hungry, that's a good option. And I just wanted to point out before I go, if you're someone that has a protein powder and you put it in the cream of rice and it turns it into a liquid, you can buy xanthan gum, put a little bit in there, and it will thicken it up. Because some protein powders, especially the hydrolyzed ways that are very pure, they're just going to turn your cream of rice and your oats into water. Like it's just going to be liquid soup. So I don't like that. I think it tastes gross. So if you're one of those people, either you have to buy a new protein powder or you got to get some xanthan gum to thicken it with. But yeah, so that's my quick and easy pudding. And honestly, give it a shot because it's just such a simple meal to have and it's just so handy. So tell me what you think in the comments, but this is one of my favorite meals. Peace.